Welcome once again to the series of talks organized by Darsana on matters of public interest. Today in our socio-economic series, we discuss about social entrepreneurship and how it is an alternate model with people or community as a focus. So this will be done as a discussion between Prakash Bare, who's a Darsana member and also our alumni, and Anjali Chandran, founder of Impressa. So Prakash is a familiar personality for all of us. However, a short intro would read as follows. Prakash Bare, an engineer and entrepreneur by profession, has held various technology and business positions in the electronic design industry. Prakash co-founded GDA Technologies, an electronic design service and intellectual property company, in 1995 with headquarters in California and design centers across US and India. GDA was acquired by L&T Infotech and Rambus Inc. after 10 years of its operation. Currently, he is involved with multiple startup initiatives in software, biomedical, and social development domains. Few of them are Synergia Media Labs, Inventor Consortium, and Share Your Fortune. Prakash holds a bachelor's degree from NSS College of Engineering, Palakkad, and a master's in microelectronics from IIT Kanpur. Prakash is also actively involved in theater and cinema and is a social worker. He has acted in more than 30 feature films in the last 10 years, including lead roles in Sufi Parna Katha, Ivan Megaruban, Oral Pokkam, Painting Life, Kaattu Vidachavar, etc. His media productions have won recognition nationally and internationally, including 15 plus Kerala State Film Awards and official selection to Berlin, Montreal, Almaty, BFI, Oporto, Dhaka, Hanoi, Trinidad and Tobago, Mumbai, IFFK, Durban Film Festivals, and Wuhan Theatre Festival. Prakash's recent production include The Cabinet of Caligari, which was a theatre production, and House of Orange Trees, which was a feature film. Coming to a few words about Anjali. Anjali worked as a senior software engineer in Wipro. However, she was always a girl with a humanitarian leaning and has always wanted to do something that will benefit the lesser fortunate section of the society. Born into a village with great tradition of loom weaving, Anjali started her own venture that sought to bring better profits and revenue to village weavers. The venture was christened Impressa. She was invited to United States by the United States Department of State as an Indian delegate for joining a multi-regional project, Women in Entrepreneurship, together with 53 women from 53 countries. A few words about our venture, Impressa. Impressa was started by Anjali about 8 years ago as an online page to manage hiring of weavers from villages directly and sell their hand-spun fabric in the retail market. Impressa currently employs many people, catering to its IT needs and retailing in Kozhikode. Impressa stands tall in 2020 as one of the best 10 global social startups that Capgemini Paris sought to recognize and endorse. Impressa was the only woman founder startup from India to have entered the innovation or innovators race in Capgemini. Anjali also bagged the 2017 Jwala Award for the Best Young Woman Social Entrepreneur award from Kairali, People's TV. And as late as in 2020, Impressa was selected by Goldman Sachs for their small marketplace. Impressa is an online platform, and you can reach it on www.impressa.in. That is IMPRESA.in to explore more and also purchase authentic handloom material. A few words about today's host, that is Darsana. Darsana Society was formed in 2007 by a group of progressive-minded individuals who passed out from NSS College of Engineering, Palakkad. As we complete 13 years, we have grown into a global organization with members in different parts of the world and with varied experience and expertise in science, technology, and engineering. The common thread that connects all our members is that we were once active in progressive campus politics and carried forward that ethos to public life. Darsana, in these 13 years, have taken up multiple interventions in the space of education, policy research, and overall supporting people to lead a dignified life. To know more about Darsana, please visit darsana.in, that is darsana.in. Follow our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So today's session will be a discussion between Prakash and Anjali. Over the period of next 45 to 50 minutes, they would cover various aspects of social entrepreneurship, how that helps the community, and probably is a model that we should look forward, or we should try and popularize and adapt. And hopefully this talk will trigger some ideas for at least a few of us to take it forward. So all of us can participate in this discussion by typing in our question in the comment section of the YouTube where it is being streamed live. So with these words, I hand over to Prakash and Anjali. So they will have the discussion, as I said, for around 45 to 50 minutes. And then we will take the questions from audience one by one and get it answered by one of them. Thank you very much. And thanks for joining today. Over to you, Prakash.
Thanks, Manoj. And thanks to Darsana for organizing such a program. And thanks to Anjali for joining us and agreeing to share your experience and your vision about entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, and your entrepreneurial journey. I mean, which has basically 8-year-long journey, and we would like to know. I would try to ask questions which all the other Darsana members and other people who are actually watching this program. I may not cover entire thing, so definitely after 15 minutes we will have more questions directly coming from them. Welcome, Anjali, to this discussion. It's really a pleasure. I have heard about you quite a lot before coming to this, and the last I got a lot more information from Murali Tumarikudi's post recently, and it was surprisingly it was an opportunity for me also to know more about you. So Manoj has already given some idea about your background. So you're from Calicut, so your Wipro stint, and then little details about the company. Can you give us some idea about how did you reach this point? How did you decide to be an entrepreneur? How did that happen? So I think a lot of us actually always think about I want to work for myself. I don't want to work for somebody else. Or a lot of people say that I think that I would like to make money for myself, or I would like to make a change to this world. I mean, everybody has that ambition. A lot of people have that ambition, but we never end up doing that. I think there has to be some trigger or some compelling passion which triggers that. In your case, how did that happen?
Thank you so much for having me here. First of all, let me thank Darsana Society as well as Prakash Chandran for this talk. Even I have quite heard about you as well, and we have already discussed. Okay, let me come to the topic. I always tell I'm an accidental entrepreneur. I never thought of being an entrepreneur, or my intention was to do something when I was of course, the other Darsana members or the other people who always used to think yeah, we will have a entrepreneur thing, or we will have a life for the society at our retirement age or something like that, right? Even I do have the passion of the same thing, and I do thought okay, I will be coming to this thing. But unfortunately or fortunately, I just quit my job when I was at 25. Because of course, for a woman's life, when we are having a baby, either we have to continue the struggle of job along with the baby, or we may have to quit the job. And as my personal experience, or my personal preference was more of to her, And I thought like, okay, let me come back to Calicut, my hometown, and let me enjoy my short break over here for some years. And later on, if I want to go back, let me think about my career at that time. And I came back to Calicut, and in between, I made a journey to visit one of my friends who is from Hyderabad, and we visited one of the rural villages in Hyderabad, and we saw a weaver, and I just took some materials for my purchase or like my personal purchase because I'm coming back to my town and I just want to give to few people over here. And I just asked him like, yeah, I just need 2 or 3 pieces. But he gave me a bundle and he told me that we are going to shut this loom. And of course, a person who is always like curious to know about people's problems, I just asked them like, what is the reason which is making you to shut this one? And he told me that we are not having a good market for this product. And I really don't know like what made me tell them like, okay, let me try to get a marketplace for you. And I just got the materials and I came back exactly on 2012 December 19th. It's like today is our anniversary, 8th anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, thank you. And I just made a Facebook page and I just put it for sale. And I know that I'm pretty clear that we will not have enquiries or something like that. And we made our friends to like this page and we made them purchase initially. And all my friends came and they purchased. It was not like a very big count we have started with. And later on, slowly the enquiries came up and we slowly made it to like, we expanded it. And that's how Impressa grew.
That's good. I think even though it was, you may say that you are an accidental entrepreneur, but I think unless you have an inclination and your goals in life is actually set in that direction, a trigger like that won't push you into the other side. And I think starting may be accidental, but I'm sure you have continued for 8 years with so much grit and so much innovative ideas. So I'm sure you will be a successful entrepreneur, even though started as an accidental one. Can you explain? I mean, a lot of entrepreneurs, they are actually getting into entrepreneurship to create wealth or create profit or increase revenue, get acquired or become go IPO, and that's the sort of objectives they have. But what you have opted for is social entrepreneurship. So which is basically not just running an entrepreneurship and then make some money, but have a bigger dimension than that. Why was it? What prompted you to do that?
I'm like a social entrepreneur or like my friends used to tell like, though you are a software engineer, you are a social engineer. Because even when we were working over there, I used to talk to people over there, like from my pantry people to Asim Premji, we used to greet them, or like it's like a very normal thing for us because I worked in the corporate office. So we used to see all these people, like from the top management to the bottom level. And I was a person, I'm always a people's person. I used to talk to people and I used to interact with people. And I feel like why I talk social entrepreneurship, of course, I have to map it to my family because it is from the roots how we are getting. And as I always tell, like I have seen my dad, how he is doing it in the society because he being a government servant, and when he works for people, I have seen like how he is helping the people who are from the less fortunate communities and all. So from that time, that seed has already been there in my life. And I feel like, yeah, of course, all these things when it comes to Impressa, because we feel like whenever we are talking about Kerala villages, and we will tell like Kerala villages, but I will tell like we are not having that much remote village in Kerala. And I have seen places where their life are like really pathetic, and we can't even think of such a life. So when I went over there and when I saw these people, I feel like, yeah, something we have to do for these people, because it's whatever we are having in our life is like, it's not our privilege or something. Somehow we are into these all these kind of luxuries, and we have to do something for these people, because it is not like we are doing something or something like a charity or something. I feel like it's our responsibility.
Yeah, I think you think that that is your responsibility to address the social issues which are out there, and you feel good by doing that, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I think, how difficult it is to run a social entrepreneurship. Like regular entrepreneurship, as I said, the metrics are very clear. So if
Yeah.
your revenues are increasing, revenues are healthy, profits are healthy, your valuations are healthy, so you are making progress. Or if you are just focusing on that, that will make you happy. But in the case of social entrepreneurship, what is that metric? I mean, how do you look at your business and say that I'm doing good or I'm on my target? What is your objective? So how do you deal with that?
If you come into the monetary level, according to my perspective, it shouldn't go for a loss. At least it should be stable. And at the same time, your happiness index, or like your passion towards the thing which you are doing, should be like multiplied or tripled.
Yeah, so it should be sustainable. That's the primary thing.
Yeah.
And then you should be happy that you are helping more and more people. So your reach, or the number of people your platform is touching, and the number of lives your platform is supporting, I think that, I suppose, is a index for you.
Yeah, of course.
So how did you go with this name Impressa? So what?
Yeah. Impressa is derived from Latin, as well as it is there in Italian. And its meaning is like making an impression or like achievement, as well as it also stands for enterprise. When I came back and I was searching for a Facebook page, of course, if I made it, I would have given it something like Golden Needle or something. I always used to try like the cliche names. And I just had a discussion with my husband, and I was asking him like, I need a striking name, because people should remember it on the first time itself. When they are hearing it for the first time, it should make an impression. And of a sudden, he told me like, you go for Impressa, because it has many meanings and it will go with your theme as well. That's how Impressa came.
It's indeed an impressive name. Very easy
Yeah.
to remember.
Thank you.
Now, I think there are so many social issues in this country, like so many. The farmers are in strike right now. A lot of employees, a lot of handicraft workers. Um, so everybody has this need, to connect with the market. I think, the trend over last several years is to digitize the middleman to make the system more efficient, right? So how did you pick a handweave of all these things? Your platform is actually directly connecting the handweave workers to the customers or the people who are interested. Why that space?
As Manoj already told in the introduction, I was born into a weaving village. I spent my childhood in my weaving village, but now it's like the third generation which is growing in this village. They doesn't even have any clue about any of the handloom items. So I have seen like how an industry is coming up and how it is getting declined. Even my hometown, which is very famous for these handlooms at a time, even that village itself got the name from these looms and lords. I don't think like how many of them remember like how this name got connected to these handlooms at all. Because I have seen people who are like very much who got very good knowledge about other things. They doesn't even have any clue about the handloom tradition of this single village. So this made me think like, yeah, this is how the tradition is going on. And we are getting slowly into a corporate model or method where we are just going for some of the particular designs or something like, okay, yeah, we have heard about Banarasi sari or something like Kanchipura, but there are many other villages who are having hundreds of these kinds of designs at their home, which is not even having a demand at all. It is not because their designs are not beautiful, but they doesn't even have a proper place to showcase their product. Those who are having a chance to go to the market, these middle people are coming up and telling, and they're really exploiting these people to a certain level. That's why it came. And from my childhood or something like from my college days, I have been recognized in my colleges and all as like that girl who you always used to wear cotton salwas. So even now I used to get in messages in Facebook and all who used to ask like, you were that girl who always used to come in that cotton salwas, right? That's how I have been stereotyped from that time itself. And I had an ardent passion towards these things. And I always used to go for these things. And I used to do researches on different type of materials from that time itself.
Makes sense. So it's there in your blood. It's there in your upbringing, right? So
Yeah.
definitely that's the highest priority. I mean, do you think that you are going to stop at that, or you're planning to expand your business to cover more areas of? What is? I mean, I was thinking that I will ask towards the end, but what is your, future? What is your ambition? How do you want to scale this by adding more domains into your platform, or by changing the nature of your platform? What is in your mind?
Initially, I had a plan of making all these kinds like mainly into artisans and only for the handlooms or handicrafts products. Now we have planned because in between this corona came and we were also attached with many other groups and we got involved in many projects, something like our Tailor Challenge and all. So we came to know that there are many people who really want their help to digitalize their things and who really need our support for their livelihood. So I thought like we will make it like something like a compassionate shopping thing.
So that COVID was a big challenge, right? I mean, in your 8 years challenge journey, what were the main challenge? I mean, what are the highs and lows? I mean, especially the challenges. Can you tell us? I think the flood came and then COVID came. How it affected your journey?
I think before the flood itself, because being in Kerala and being a woman, when you start something, and that too like leaving your job or something like a settled thing, which the society is thinking, I think flood and all are like pretty,
Nothing.
yeah, nothing for me because initial 3 to 4 years was like really difficult for me. And I have to convince my family. At the same time, I have to convince uh, other people also like I'm doing this. And whenever I'm telling like initially when we go for some functions or something, when I'm telling like I'm a social entrepreneur, they used to tell like, so you did your masters in software or something and how come you landed in MSW? Slowly what made me is like whenever some people are asking like what you are doing, I used to I'm simply sitting at home and looking after daughter. That is the thing mainly people want from us, because
So
otherwise it will be like, yeah, otherwise it will be like we have to go and explain them all these things. We have to clearly give our route map.
yeah, I think
So
it was an uphill task from the word go, right?
yeah.
So, but the COVID was definitely everything came to a standstill at that time, right? So,
Yeah.
how was that experience? And then you came out with some innovative ideas. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. Actually, initially the COVID thing during the national lockdown, even just like any other person, I was also enjoying the social media challenges and all. And I was just enjoying my time with my family because that was the time when I have been at home or like my daughter was seeing me continuously for more than 10 days happened only during that lockdown time because she never used to see me for continuously for 10 days because I will be traveling for talks or I will be going for some other field work or something like that. And initially I was really enjoying that time because yeah, okay, though business was like, because nowhere it was moving. We know that however hard we tried, nothing is going to happen during that national lockdown. And I was slowly helping these weavers with some sort of money and all. And when I still remember by the end of June or something, some of the weavers called me and told me like they may be forced to move somewhere for some other work because no work in loom is happening, and they really want something to do for their family. And I asked them like exact reasons because I know that it was the time of festivals because Ugadi was coming, and for us wedding season was there, and many things were clubbing at that time, and entire thing got stuck in this national lockdown. Then they told me like this is the scenario, and we have this many amount of stocks in our master weavers warehouse, and we really don't know what to do. So that made me like really tensed, and I have been I could realize that I was just losing my sleep, and from that social media Dalgona challenge and all these kind of challenges, I have been taken to the other part, and I'm just talking to these people, and I'm understanding like they are really losing the confidence, which in turn is affecting my confidence as well. So at one night I thought like many were asking me, why can't you go and just make a face mask and make it like a news? I thought like it won't work out because we need more fabric to reach people, because they just need to start their production again. And with this mask only, we will not be able to sustain. So I just thought like just putting a Facebook page and seeing the response. I took a viewer's video of mine, and I just posted it in Facebook asking people to donate rupees 550 for 2.5 meters of handloom clothes. Including shipping, we just charge this much amount just to make these stocks clear and make to these people back to work. And it was like a very big success because that was the first project I think across the industry which came as the first project of a social enterprise and supporting these people.
Wow, that is really inspirational. I think I think this happened to pretty much all of us. First few days is like shock and the confusion, and you think that only thing you can do is read books, watch movies, or spend time on social media. And I think many of us actually also got into action only after a break. That we started working on ventilator and stuff like that. But as you said, initially there was like a confusion that there is nothing to be done. That kind of effect. So, I mean, even though you had such a doing a entrepreneurship in Kerala is as a woman, as a young woman, as a IT personality who is expected to do something else. I know. I mean, it will be a uphill task, but I think you, as Manoj mentioned in the beginning, there's a lot of recognitions which came on your way. Some of the very impressive ones, the Capgemini one, Mathrubhumi Shi Award, and the US Department State Leadership Training. I think that they selected you twice, I suppose. And you represented India among the 53 countries around the world. IAM, Goldman Sachs, 10,000 Women Program. How all these things actually encouraged you, and of course, Kairali Jwala Award. So, Mamuka Award nalgiya penguti nana. I think that's what you're saying, that you're known like that. So, how all these things actually impacted, and how much energy it gave you? It must have given definitely a lot of energy. How it helped you?
Yeah, I think the Capgemini happened in 2017, and following that only Jwala came. So though Capgemini was like a international voting thing, and some of the medias covered it, and we went to Paris for pitching and all, but it never had such a good response or something like that wow moment from people over here. But when it came to Jwala, it was like wow. I have been telling people like even now I have been addressed like, oh, that Mammootty award kodutha kuttiyana. wherever I go, people will call me, like the elders will call me and introduce to other people, like, Kandile Mammootty award got. Now also the same thing is happening. And I used to tell, like, the market is for Mammootty than me. And yeah, it really helped us. And I have been always questioned by people for the question, like, why can't you be like others? Because even close people also used to tell me, like, see, those people, they were like you and now they are in US or now they are in UK and you are still here roaming around and just wasting your life. And from that Jwala Award function, Mamuta had mentioned, like, these all are like rare people whom we hardly used to see. And I used to make that as a caption. See, he has already told that we people are like really different. And അതായിരുന്നു എന്റെ രക്ഷാകവചം കുറെ കാലങ്ങളിൽ, കാരണം വേറെ രക്ഷയില്ലായിരുന്നു നമുക്ക് പിടിച്ചു നിൽക്കാൻ. And from that time, the graph slowly changed. Till that time, whenever some media used to come and cover us, people used to tell, like, yeah, it is pure advertisement. And they have a feeling like normally shopping owners or like shop owners or like something who related to clothing always used to give advertisement, and whatever the news covers or like whatever the Nalla Varta or something like that by Mantubhumi used to cover, everybody used to tell, like, paisa koduthitana. And till now we haven't even given a cup of tea for any of the media people for covering us. From that
I was actually looking at your website, and I didn't see any mention about any of these recognitions there. I don't know, even if it is there, it is somewhere in the corner.
I'm also not sure, because I think some of the media coverages are there, and these listings and all, these listings and all, I really don't want to put it up. It is just for my LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, I think even from my childhood days, Kerala society has come a long way. Like, I mean, when we were kids, our grandma and all used to say, well, that guy has got a government job. Government job means, I mean, like everything in pension and pune and mali, all these things are going to be taken. The government quarters or government comes and took him to the job and stuff like that. So that was the attraction, and then became MNCs and IT companies, especially Wipro and all. I had a member of my team who quit in middle of a very critical project because he was getting married, and for getting married, I think he wanted Wipro's banner, and my startup company was too small for him, so I tried my best to hold him back, but he never he moved on. So things have changed from government job to multinational jobs to IT jobs. So you sit in an AC, write some code, come home. That is the way, do little work and you get a lot of reward. Now I think, even a little more work is also okay, but trying to do something like entrepreneurship. So I tried, during initial part of my career. And in Kerala, I decided that, it's not possible. We tried to get some loan and some product idea. And then after spending 3-4 months, I moved on and I took up a job and I joined for my master's. So I can clearly understand, how much you must have struggled going through this. The kind of questions which comes on your way is like, oh, you didn't, so there's something wrong with you. You did not prosper in the golden path they have in their mind. That must have been your experience, right?
Yeah. Even I have the same thing. I have been like, whenever my dad or mom used to go for some of the family functions and or people will be like looking at my mom and or something like as if I had some critical illness or I have just lost something which is like very precious, and they used to tell like, engana nadanna kuttiya. That is the that is the claim they will be telling. Then they used to make them like pacify, saralla മക്കൾ ഇപ്പൊ ഇങ്ങനെയായാൽ നമുക്ക് എന്താ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുക, and they will use all these kind of emotional things to my dad and mom. And somehow sometimes they will also have some problem, and they used to come and ask me like, are you really confident that you can do something over this, or like do you want to go and study something? And even I have a person who are like very close to me. They had just one of them came to me and he gave me a PSC guide, and he told me like, why can't you try for LDC at least? LDC is not a bad job or something, but they are not even clear about our passions, or they are not even clear about things. They just want to make ourselves in a settled job.
Yeah, that is one thing, and the second is why can't you make money? I mean, why are you doing or getting into something which is helping others and stuff? Just make money. I mean, like we are working on a ventilator project which we are planning to put on an open source, and there are very close friends ask me like, I mean, what is wrong with you? So why don't you? So. In the midst of all these things, how your family is dealing with your parents, your husband, your daughter, uh, are they support? How are they being supportive to you?
From my family, like from my immediate family, like my parents and my husband and my kid, and I got two brothers, so they are like super supportive. Otherwise, I would have stopped this at some point of time, because more than me, because I hardly go for functions and I hardly used to see people who are like with hundreds of questions waiting outside. But they are the people who are always open to these all these sources. And my brother always used to tell like, nice I me because I will not go for the most of the things, and he will be answerable some to some people, right? So they never had any problem, because my dad always used to tell like, yeah, I'm sure like if she finds something like which is 100% okay for her, like which she finds like 100% true, she will go for it. And I never had any problem. Let her do her passion. And
Sure. How about your friends? I mean, how much of a support they have been in establishing and spreading your entity?
yeah, that is the main thing which I always have to tell. Like other than my family, of course, my family has to support me to overcome all these kind of struggles. But there are very good support from my friends who are like my batchmates and my colleagues who were with me in Wipro. They really helped me even from the initial date. Like I always used to tell like, now Impressa got around more than 40K page likes without even having much sponsored ads or anything. Initial 200 likes were contributed by all of our friends, and we made it like a small uh, a project or something. Like everybody has to come back and report to us in the evening by getting 10 likes. And my friends used to tell like, even now they have offered some of the friends who like the pages some salvas and all, which is still pending. So friend support is really commentable, because they help me a lot, even for this travel and all, because I never had any rural language support. So wherever I go and wherever I go and meet these people, they really came with me. Or whenever they are not in town, some of them made their friends or like made their family to accompany me to talk to these people in their regional language and make them understand that I'm not a middleman, or I came for this thing. And then they have that made me to create a trust between these viewers, because they know that, yeah, I have been educated, I am not coming for money or looting their ideas or looting their designs. They really supported me, and this trust between Impressa and these viewers uh, happened only through these friends.
I think so. A lot of people I hired from India in my when I was running my startup in the US called GDA Technologies. I remember that in the young generation, the new generation, a lot of youngsters, probably even your people of your batch. So they will come to the US on the way. They will take a ticket, get down in Germany, and pre-book a luxury car, right? And to take delivery as soon as they come and join the job and receive the first salary. Like, I mean, they make so much plan and they have very clear ambition about making millions, getting so and so car, having so and so luxury, startup, IPO, house in the top of the hill. Everything is chalked out. So among those people, how did you, you basically are looking at, I care about this kind of a pleasure, and I care about these people, these lives. I mean, as Gandhi said, shaking the world gently is an option you have pursued, right? So, what exactly is keeping you going? Like, I mean, what is the thing which brings a smile onto your face?
Of course, the smile on other people. That too, like who are like less privileged, because they doesn't have any acting at all. If they are happy and if they are contented, they will smile. And our small actions are making them smile as well. And at the same time, I feel like they doesn't have any privileges at all. So if we are just bringing a small smile on their face, that is like $100 million for me.
So, so then that means, I mean, your objective is to scale this, reach out to more people, bring more smiles on them. What is the hurdle? What is the biggest you know preventing? What is the hurdle which is preventing you to reach there very quickly?
Because of course funding, because I'm from a middle class family, we have limitations for funding, right?
Sure. So why? So with all these recognition, so much media hype, so much popularity, I'm sure you must be, approached by a lot of people, or if you approach, there is a lot of funding options available. So have you tried that? Have you tried to reach out to them?
No, the thing is like few of them already approached me and asked me they are ready to fund, but they are only seeing this media coverages and they are only seeing this red carpet entry part only. They doesn't even know that there are other lives who are really struggling for their life at the other end. So I really got a fear, like if I'm just going with these people, how these things will go out, and like will it be something like another corporate thing? So
So when you said that, I mean, you want the operation to be sustainable, you want to do justice to the artisans who are basically providing you the work product. So are you, what, how about the consumers who are actually approaching you? So can't you basically take more margin there?
no,
How are you
we are
approaching that?
yeah we are making it like it should be viable for both the consumers as well as for the artisans, because
Okay.
otherwise what is the point in making, yeah, we are directly taking it from viewers. So we have to give our consumers as well at a fair price all these products.
So that approach towards the business, you are not very sure about. Typical funds which may come to you may not, appreciate that. That's your hesitation in jumping onto any funding option and then trying to scale it in a big way.
Yeah,
But if you find the right kind of funds, right kind of collaborations, you would like to go for that
yeah,
expansion. Is that right? Yeah.
of course.
Uh, so you have one good thing about the time you have started this operation. I think social media is coming up in a big way. How much of that was an advantage, or did you see any disadvantage there? You started
The,
it as a Facebook page, and
yeah,
then later moved on to a website also, correct?
yeah. We started it as a Facebook page, and after 2 years, we moved into a retail store in Calicut. And after 2 years, we moved into our own website as well. Um, Initially, it was like Facebook algorithms were like pretty easy. We were able to reach more people. Now Zuckerberg has become like more crooked, or like we need to sponsor ads and we need to run it like business ads as well. So that is really creating a problem. But initially, Facebook, I used to tell like I have to thank him first for making me an entrepreneur, because he that Facebook page only marked my journey as an entrepreneur, and that's how this today's Anjali Chandran came up. Otherwise, I would have been just an employee number in some companies, or may have been living like a housewife life or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So I think so. Initially, it was actually very favorable, but later they started squeezing the users, not only for taking an ad to the people, but I think, I think depending upon the content, so only certain kind of content get the virality, and the rest basically gets a raw deal, which is definitely a concern as a society, a global society. I was just wondering, I mean, are you, now that the world is actually, everybody is talking about AI, I was just listening to a conversation between Zuckerberg and Yuval Noah Harari about what Facebook is going to do with the AI and its ethicality and all the issues. So AI is going to affect every walk of life in a big way, especially the digitization of the middlemen. You're talking about connecting the work product to the final consumer. Do you have any plans, how you can use your own app applications, AI, and reaching to a wider audience and then covering more artisans?
Currently, we can't move for an app or something because of these funding restrictions as well. So, as like if we are getting a good funding options and all, we will of course try that as well, because we doesn't know like from where our customers will be coming up and like how we can flourish our business.
So I read somewhere that you were talking about you would like to, ideally would like to have create an e-platform or a weavers network. What kind of idea you have in mind?
It's something like there are many designs which are not even used by these people because of um, the market demands, and also we just want to make it like an emporium as well, something like introducing all these arts and weaves into one platform through Impressa. And we have to, because even now we have some of the rare dupattas from Orissa, something like more than 100 plus years tradition thing. We hardly get customers for that, but still we used to make it and curate it. So that's how we just want to make it like a entire India cross section, because whenever that handloom map comes, my friends used to forward me. So that makes me this idea like we need to create it and do it. But it will take years for sure. We can do, because just like we will not be able to see India entirely in our lifetime. I doesn't even know like how long it will take to make it.
Sure. So I think a lot of our Darsana members and our other people will be watching this discussion. Uh, can you, if anybody, I mean, there are people from different countries and people who have a lot of interest in social development and social responsibility. So is there, what are the ways they can actually reach out to Impressa and try to help?
Of course, it's like one thing is like purchasing. I can't, but I hardly used to tell people to purchase because I'm not good at marketing. My staff used to tell like you shouldn't be in store, because I used to educate people rather than making people to buy. They can reach for anything. They can reach via Impressa website for any of the clarifications or any of the things, because our website in Impressa website impressa.in, we have given our email ID and WhatsApp number, everything, which will indirectly taken to me whenever people wants to contact me or something for things.
Yeah, so some of them may have some funding idea, some of them may have some collaborations outside India where you can place your products. So just was wondering. Do you have any word of suggestions or advice to people who would like to be a social entrepreneur among this, our audience, who wants to, any idea about what they should be careful about, what areas they could look for and stuff like that?
Area of interest depends on people. It varies on people, because there are many who will be interested. Some of them will be interested in kids, related areas and or like something like education. Sometimes some of them will be interested in this kind of artisan areas. So first area people have to define by themselves. Second thing is like they really have to ask themselves whether do I really have this passion for this one, or is it something like an instantaneous thing? Because I have seen people who used to come to me and used to get initial advices from me and just starting another Facebook page or something like a new enterprise. And after 1 year or 2 year, when I'm seeing them and asking, yeah, we have closed it.
Mhm.
That is the initial response I used to get. And I used to ask them like, why?
Persistence.
Yeah, because that is the main thing. We have to very much struggle. Initially, it is not at all easy. In my case, it was not at all easy. I really suffered.
That is good. So I was just wondering, while going through, your journey, have you ever considered creating a cooperative society? So I think long time back, decades back, there has been cooperative societies like Dinesh Bidi and Indian Coffee House and all. I was really surprised that later looking back, if you go to US or any other country, I mean, you see McDonald's everywhere, same kind of dishes. It's all a cookie cutter kind of approach towards every aspect of the business. But I think, much before all these things, there's a cooperative society owned by the employees, and they have their, same headgear, same beetroot in every masala dosha, right? I mean,
Not
how
even
did they
masala
manage?
dosa, in sauce also.
So cutlet also, yeah.
Cutlet and sauce.
So that seems to be, I mean, that is, I was really, interested in, trying something. There's so much technology people in our state, in our country. Um, I think, a lot more engineers we produce than our country requires, so that, they are actually for solving the rest of the world's problem. So why none of us are actually even trying to create a cooperative society and then, approach that. Um, so have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, like even like being from Calicut, and when you are talking about cooperative society rather than Robert Owen, we always used to think about Varghese Kurian because he is the one who created a brand with a cooperative society, right? From our childhood to till date, we are always seeing these Amul brands, cheese,
Yeah.
butter, everything. Yeah, I feel like even Milma is doing very good, and we are having many more over here in Kerala. And I think like even than in Europe, Kerala is the state, uh, best state in India which is using these cooperative societies for a good upliftment of these people. Yeah, we have chances.
I think that's a good idea. Somebody can pick it up. I think that Darshana here can be, definitely
Yeah, of course.
have our hand on that.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's all I had to, cover. I think we are up with our time, 15 minutes. Anything else you want to say before we pass the baton to Manoj again?
Okay, I'm okay with.
Okay, all right. Manoj?
Sheri. Okay, thanks, Prakash. Thanks, Anjali. It was a very nice chat between the two of you. So I have a few questions from the audience. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I have a few questions from the audience. And before that, just one thing that came to my mind is a lot of these what do you call entrepreneurs or these small businesses try to sell their stuff through Amazon. So do you know what kind of challenges they have, and is that a model that is pursuable? Is that something that you advise? What is your view on that?
For Amazon, I feel like initially we just need to make our GST and billings and everything clear. Without GST, we will not be able to become an Amazon seller, I think. And the second thing is like margin. They charge a better margin, which is not at all viable for us. Like it's like a big margin for us. Okay. So many used to come and ask me as well, why can't you list in Amazon? So I used to tell, like, if I'm listing in Amazon, I have to double this price, and my customers have to come and.
Yeah, I think, I mean, digitizing the middleman. I think that is a story we have been hearing.
Better visibility.
Yeah, so Uber and Airbnb, Oyo, and Amazon, all these things. It's a great convenience quite often for people until but we have no idea about the people on the other side. Because I remember talking to some of the drivers, people who have come from interior villages of Karnataka, buy car on loan, because initial incentives were really great. And after a few months, when the things are really squeezed, they are not able to basically pay off the loan. So they are really stuck. So big players make it convenient, but then, unless there is a clear checks and balance, especially if there is a monopolistic tendency in that space, both can get suffered. As definitely the provider, that's their efficiency, that's their margin. So the profit, that's what profit does to them.
I feel like it's exploiting people as well.
Yeah, I think.
Though though the people are getting like a fair digitalization platform, at the same time, on the other hand, there is exploitation as well. Even I have seen a boy who did his engineering somewhere from, I think, Madurai, and I have been visiting Chennai once, and he was telling the same story. Like, initially he was earning pretty good amount, and he feel like it is better to be in the Uber or Oyo rather than going for some job. And again, when I visited on the second time, I just called him and asked him, like, are you in town? And he was telling, like, no ma'am, I came back to Madurai and I'm just taking care of the agriculture over here, because the same thing had happened to him last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you've been very frank on this thing, Anjali. This is something that Bangalore working. I work in Bangalore, so I've seen the boom and the downside of the what you call digital middleman, or what we call as gig economy or the platform economy. So you find all these, they are all called delivery partners, driver partners, all of them are given feel-good names. But then at the end of the day, whatever predictable income was there, like, see, what has happened is in the market, if you were a taxi driver, you could earn a predictable income, even if it is say 15,000 or 20,000, it was a predictable income. So that predictability is completely removed. The risk of owning the vehicle is entirely on you, on the driver. So anyway, that's not our topic, so we'll not. In fact, there
is one more story for this one as well, because when these people are moving into Uber, there will be one taxi driver who is not getting registered into Uber. Initially, he will not have any other way to get his rides. I have seen this in Bangalore, because I got a taxi driver in Bangalore, because being in Bangalore for all these years, he used to take me wherever I go, and all my travels were in his vehicle only. So even after Uber came, because of this personal attachment, I used to call him, and he was so surprised. And he used to ask me, like, ma'am, why are you not trying these things? And after this Uber boom, I have seen, like, whenever, even when we are in some places and when we are booking these rides, they used to cancel these rides without even having much information. And we have to again run back to these taxi drivers or somebody whom we know to arrange our ride. So these people are also having problem, because people who are not in sync with these people are also having this same issue.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's a different topic, but same thing is with all this food delivery boys. Their life is See, actually, you feel sad that there are so many of them waiting in front of restaurants for the call. Okay, and all of them are youths or youngsters. So anyway, there are a lot of studies and books that are coming out on how that is impacting. I mean, basically, the predictability of income is very important. It's not how much you earn, but I mean, see, for people like, I mean, people who earn beyond a particular money, the variability in income doesn't matter much because it doesn't have an impact on the quality of life. പക്ഷേ ഇവർ ഏൺ ചെയ്യുന്ന ആ ഒരു ലെവലിൽ the predictability of income is of super prime importance because that has a huge impact. Anyway, so I think we digressed a bit on that, but so those are, I mean, those models look very interesting, but then I mean, there are all these pitfalls that we have to be aware of, and I think that's where regulatory controls and some checks and balances like what is there in European countries and all help. So let me, and just to extend the point on Amazon, what I've also heard is one is, of course, the margin, which you rightly said. The other thing is they tend to buy out the businesses that are successful, or in the sense, like for example, Impressa, if you were to take up the Amazon ID and start selling, as long as you are kind of an average performer, I mean, they would let you be there on their platform. But then the moment, I mean, you become more viable, then I mean, they tend to gobble you up. That's what I've heard from various people. So probably that is also another issue that could be there with such large platforms. So let me come to some questions from the audience. One is Mohammed Shamim. So he had a question on how do we scale this and how do we bring more people under the umbrella. I think that was something that Prakash had touched upon during the discussion. So we'll probably pass that. If Mohammed Shamim has any follow-up question, you can still type it in. So next question is from Prabhu Sampath. So Prabhu is also an entrepreneur. So he is in UAE and he is into primarily biomedical instrumentation.
Hi, Prabhu.
So he has, and in fact, he's currently very busy with the fight on COVID and all that. So his question is, I mean, his statement is, being an entrepreneur myself, I can relate to many of the challenges that you have stated. My question is, how can we work and collaborate with Impressa in a lot of other sectors apart from handloom industry? Other sectors include artisans and craftsmen in many traditional arts that are declining and struggling. So what is your opinion on that?
Yeah, there are many areas where we can collaborate because I always feel like collaborations only will work. Because if you think like everything has to go through our channel or like we just have to be on the top, it will not work at all. So collaborations will of course work, and we have to see like what kind of collaborations he's actually looking for.
Yeah, so maybe I think that's a good point to connect offline and see as to what is it.
Yeah, I think this is something we can probably have a follow-up discussion about what collaboration platform, what who will be interested in collaboration and things like that.
Yeah. The next question was from Prakash and Alokan. So there are so many weavers villages in Malabar, especially Kannur, Calicut. Old generation already stopped hand weaving and new generation is going to the field because of low income from weaving. So his question is, how can we revamp or integrate or improve hand weaving? Do you have any plan or do you have any ideas on that?
Actually, the thing is like, I always used to tell customers when they are like people who always used to ask me like what we can do. The first thing we have to do is like, we have to start wearing handlooms.
Okay.
When we start buying, of course, the demand will rise and these people will start their job. It is not like they are just stopping the job only because they are not at all attracted to this job or like they lost interest. The pure reason for this one is like they are not having a good wages for their work which they are doing. And I have seen many weavers who always used to tell me like, ma'am, we will be stopping with our generation because we doesn't want our children to struggle in their life.
Okay. I mean, it's not seen as a craft. Actually, it is a craft. I mean, it's unlike mills, hand weaving is a craft. So I think the problem is that it's not seen as a craft and it's not, yeah, probably, I don't know.
No, the thing is like, even after this weaver, there is one more generation because we are dealing with another project currently due to COVID. It is Tailor's Challenge because being from this handloom, weaving loom area, the first generation were weavers. Second generation were having clothes shops or tailors. And this second generation, they never asked their children to come to this industry because of this same waging issue. And they made their children like, all of them are like doctors, engineers, and multi-professionals. Some of them are still continuing this tailoring job just because of passion or like for becoming self-independent. What happened is like, we all are going for these ready-made dresses. We doesn't even know who stitched this fabric for you. Even just when you are wearing a cloth, can you just imagine from where it came? We are just taking it as a brand. When we are talking about all these traditions and everything, what we are doing is like, we are becoming corporates. We are becoming brand conscious and we are taking a single brand. We are not even thinking about giving the money or like helping a person. We may be doing it for charity, but we will not use it for another person's profession. That's why we introduce this tailor challenge as well, because we clearly know like whenever we are dispatching a project, men's shirt or men's kurta from Impressa, we know that who is the weaver, who is the tailor, and if I really want to know like from which cotton field this cotton had come, I can even get that details as well. That's how we are making this unique. Because I think like this kind of thought should come to everyone. It is not like me or other social entrepreneurs should take up. It is like each person has to make it like, okay, at least in a week, I will be using these kind of things for 2 days. The entire industries in Kerala also will boom up because currently we are on a discussion with another weaving villages in Palakkad, and we will be launching that project by next week mostly. The same issue. Kutambuli is famous for the product and they got this GI indication tag, but there are many other societies near to that. They are really struggling.
Okay.
So we have to make it like, first we have to think of it and we have to act. Everyone has to act. Only with 1 or 2 people it will not change. Otherwise, we will also tell like, yeah, once upon a time there was handloom.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
and your anniversary sale is going on 50%, up to 50%.
Yeah, that is for power looms, not for handlooms.
Okay.
Okay. So the other thing is, I think by handloom there are these, again, there are also brands, right? Like for example, Fab India. Fab India is so popular and it's so fashionable. It's so like, it's so upmarket. Like, handloom, like if we want to feel that, okay, we are helping a weaver and all that, then a lot of people tend to go towards handlooms. I mean, sorry, brands like Fab India. But our mindset, like, or I mean, what is your take on that?
Actually, our project, this tailor project, or like we were like only female saris and salwars, everything were there in Impressa. During this handloom challenge, few of the friends who used to came and purchase this clothes from me, they told me like they just want to put make it as men's kurta. Men's kurta, and they just I told them like, yeah, we got very good tailors over here because they were not having work because schools are not yet open, and their main income was like from school uniforms. Okay. So we made it happen, and they all were like initially brand conscious and like they were just using Fab India products, and I can even screenshot you and see show you the comment, like they have just put it like Fab India naanichu mari nilkum. Same product, and you can see the price difference as well.
Okay. Good. Just one more question. This is from Abhishek Suresh. So are you open to the franchise model?
Yeah, like if there are good people who used to come here, I told her like we really want to expand because of many restrictions. I just made it like very small.
Okay.
Because I want more peace.
Yeah, I think that's another challenge that typical entrepreneurs have, right? Like it's control versus what do you call expansion.
Scale.
A lot of cases. Yeah, scale. Yeah. പ്രകാശിന് അതിനെ പറ്റി എന്തെങ്കിലും പറയാനുണ്ടോ ഈ കൺട്രോൾ വേഴ്സസ് സ്കെയിൽ എന്നുള്ള ഒരു conundrum?
Yeah, I think that is definitely. I mean, this is an approach towards business, right? Like, I mean, yesterday when I was talking to Anjali, if you are actually talking to the typical businessmen, like, I mean, in Bombay or Gujarat, Ahmedabad, or I mean, their lingo is totally different. They how they connect, and then how quick, efficient is their communication about their problems, their solutions. It's a different breed. So identifying this rare breed of social entrepreneurs, and having that sync, and you are challenging. You are on the side of procurement. You are stretching, and on the consumer side you are stretching. You are basically keeping a very thin margin in between to be sustainable, and then also whatever profit you are getting, you are trying to put it in scaling. And I think you need a similar kind of people who think like that to do that. And I think having investing, I mean, having a fund, right kind of fund, if you can get that, and then invest on an infrastructure, technological infrastructure. As I said, I mean, there is AI, there is responsible AI and AI. So I think we have to basically have the governments and the society insist on having responsible AI, and have a platform so that these kind of initiatives can really scale. I think we don't have to discuss all those details in this call, but I think we can have continued discussion as Prabhu, like what Prabhu was talking and what Abhishek is talking about. I think all these things can be tied up, but then this rare breed is not many are there. So we the process of that collaboration and scaling, and that will be relatively slower. But I think once we basically fail in any of the step, that can affect the entire system. So.
Yeah. I mean, incidentally, Abhishek is in the US, so that is one good thing. Similarly, there's another question from Rahim. So we have a pretty large set of, or rather, we have a large group in UAE. Rahim is in UAE, so he's asking, do you sell? I mean, do you have any store, or do you have any setup, or can you plan to set up something in UAE? So again, all these, I mean, I'm just connecting all these kind of inquiries together so that probably we can work on some follow-up on that. The next question is somebody called Pradeep Nambishan. So his question is, what is your SWOT in this industry? Probably he's asking about your strength and I mean, what is your strength and weakness?
Yeah, what is strength and weakness?
Yeah, typical SWOT analysis.
Yeah. Both are same. Like I always used to mingle with people, so sometimes we will have setbacks. At the same time, we will have good collaborations as well.
Okay. My
main thing is like, if I get a simple thing or something, like I always used to find challenges as opportunities. And
I think you're more like driven by emotion and people, so it's not a business thinking. It's more
because if I'm like more into business, I would have made something. I always used to tell like 3 or 4 stores we would have opened by this time.
Yeah.
And I would have exploited my viewers as well by asking them for lower rates and everything.
Yeah. Anyway, so there is another question from Vijay Kumar. So though this is a social entrepreneurship, there would have been some government or departmental involvement through these 8 years. So were they helpful, or especially after you were in the limelight with all the awards and all that? So how has government been overall to your venture, and how has their approach been?
We haven't approached any of the departments much because.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I was very surprised about that too, because Make in India, there's so much programs are existing, startup mission, and a lot of things happening. So
Kudumbashree,
even from Kudumbashree, yeah.
For women specifically, yeah. Yeah, Prakash, continue. Sorry, I was just.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, there could be such opportunities. Obviously there will be challenges associated with it. So making profit. I mean, people. One example I'd say is people come and ask me, why are you making these kind of films? Why can't you make films like which
Blockbusters.
make blockbuster movies, or fun
Pokiri
films,
Raja.
Pokiri Raja kind of thing, right? So it's like that. I mean, why can't you basically make a company which grows very fast, or a company which is very extremely successful and stuff like that? But without compromising on your objective. And I think here there is a way. There could be a way to reach out to more people. And I think platform like Darsana and all have people who can actually collaborate or join hands in that journey. And I really hope that in coming days we can have such discussions.
Yeah. So next question is from Suresh Kumar. So do you have plans to add other similar groups than Weavers to Impressa?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. So is anything in pipeline, or is there something planned? Or
Yeah, we have a few which we were planning already, and due to COVID we just stopped it. So we may be resuming it back by next year mostly.
Okay. So basically, Impressa is not an exclusive, handloom handicrafts platform. It will be kind of an open platform which can onboard any of. I heard you using the tagline "compassionate, compassionate shop" or something. So that means
compassionate
anything
shop.
can be on.
Yeah, because we are onboarding one more project.
Okay.
2 more projects are already there, which will be by starting by next week. So we are planning to identify more, and we are planning to add more.
Okay. There's one. This is not a question. I mean, this is more an opinion or a statement. So it's from Umar. So he says, I got a chance to visit Irina Society at Kannur. I am in contact with them. So he's actually telling everyone who's participating in this. So whoever is interested in visiting them or understanding more about their profession and their occupation can contact him. So just a statement. Then this is from Chella.
Very good cloth bags. Irina Society.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. They have other products as well, but their cloth bags are like more masterpiece.
Okay. And how do they sell it? They again sell it through.
I think they have more exporting and all these kind of exhibitions and everything.
Okay.
So then, how the government has got a sorry, I'm butting in, but the government has got a Onam exhibition and distribution. There are stores all around Kerala. How is that? Is that effective, or do you have any kind of collaboration with any of them?
No, we haven't. We haven't participated in any of the things, but I know people who participated in that along with this Calicut DIC and all.
Okay.
Yeah, they are having good sales.
Okay. Question from Chella Durai. So, what are the media you are using now? Which media do you think is the best? Are you using digital marketing for your business? I think this, again, we covered as part of our Facebook and related discussion. Then there's one question from Savio Joseph. So he's asking, where is the Impressa store in Calicut? I think it is in Parupodi, right?
Yeah. We were in Emerald Mall for 5 years. Recently, we shifted to Parupadi.
Emerald Mall, okay.
Yeah.
And now in
Now,
Parvati.
yeah, now in Parvati.
Okay. So the other thing is, there's another question, like, in which way are you helping to empower the artisans, like vendor development, improving the ability to produce efficiently or organize better, or maybe plan production better using emerging technologies and improve their overall social ecosystem? So how do you see your role in that?
I think it's like improving their overall social things, as well as we are educating them. Even they doesn't even know how to use a smartphone. So
Okay.
I used to go there and I used to be with them for a few days, and I used to make them understand, and I used to teach them how to use a smartphone and how they can get other clients as well. It is not like they are only selling to Impressa. So in 2013, I still remember they were not even aware of the term WhatsApp. So I
Okay.
went there and I just bought a phone for them. I gave it to master and I told him, like, this is how you can get more people. You can send your product photos to them.
Okay. So
So
that
made
is,
them,
yeah.
yeah, made them get listed in India Mart and everything, because we are like very small team,
Mhm.
but they need more people to make them sustainable.
Okay. So, so yeah, there is one suggestion. So somebody called Kishore has written that I just looked at your website. Can you include a link for delivery info, which can help people from abroad?
Okay, yeah, I will just talk to my team, because after the order, we have a delivery information link which we will be sent to the customers with all the tracking details.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
we have a tie-up with another startup from Bangalore, who is my friend, who is doing this international shipping thing. So she's
Okay.
taking care of the entire thing. So we are just tying up with them.
Yeah. So, yeah, so I think these were the questions that I had from audience. Prakash,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it was a good introduction to your journey, and I'm sure there are a lot of people among this group who think about doing something like this, like a responsible platform, empowering platform for connecting, making the logistics between the producer and the consumer more effective. And we have seen this happening for hotels and this and that, and even purchasing fish and stuff like that. There are a lot of areas which has to become smart, and we can by expanding this without diluting your objective, by adding more products or more people onto this platform, and reaching out to different geographies. I think that is in that journey, with whatever we have more than 10,000 people around the world. So we hope that we will be able to support you or help you in some manner. So we look forward for that.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward for more collaborations.
Okay. Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you very much, Anjali, and thanks, Prakash, for hosting the talk today. So let's see. I mean, I think there are a few threads that we can work on and see how we can take it forward. Because see, we are also in the midst of. See, we are currently registered as a charitable society. So we are in the midst of registering a separate consulting organization. Now, we went through the complete loop of trying to register a cooperative society, but then there are actually far too many challenges. I mean, earlier days, I think it was easier, but right now there are far too many challenges in registering a cooperative society. So we are still in that loop, but then I think let's see where it takes, and definitely the talk with you was useful, and I'm sure the listeners also would have got some ideas from it. All the best, Anjali, and good luck for your project. Thank you very much.